And one other thing that I also have been using, I'm probably the best thing the patches have given me. So my son is autistic and he's almost 12. And I kind of researched and decided I was going to give him the glutathione patch, right? So I started putting those on the back of his neck every day. And immediately I didn't see a huge difference. And I was kind of like, because I got such a fast difference, I thought I'd see something in him. But I kept persistent with it. And about 2 or 3 weeks in, I noticed his sleep also changed. And when he woke up, he was more alert, and getting him out the door to school was a whole new world. Was so laid back and so calm. And I didn't really think that's how it would help him, but it did. Nothing is bothering him. He doesn't get upset over anything. He's playing basketball. They're actually in the playoffs this week. He's on an undefeated team. He's playing football. This is a kid that wasn't talking at 7. And I know without a shadow of a doubt the patches are changing his world. I know they are. And I think if anything, like if everyone could at least get the glutathione on some child, especially children that have any kind of gut issues, because gut issues are, usually the issue when it comes to, ADHD or autism. But and it could be any patch, I don't know, but that one in particular has changed our world. And, me and his father are divorced. And so he's with his dad half the time. So his dad just thinks it's a Band-Aid and takes it off. He's a guy. So I'll go up, I meet him at school every morning, even when his dad drops him off, and I go and hug him and I check. And if he doesn't have a patch, I'm putting one on. So I've been consistent with it and I've seen a major difference. So Haley,
That's so amazing.
that is my favorite story to tell. So
Yes, absolutely. Now are you just using the glutathione on your son?
that's all I have. Now, I have been out before and I didn't want him to go without. So I have put an X39 or something on him. But do you suggest any other that I should try?
Well, I mean, if you see results with the glutathione, obviously, for I'm actually kind of surprised that the sleep, has changed that. But
Yeah.
obviously, your gut and your brain are connected. So your gut influences your brain. So I guess it would make sense that he would be sleeping better,
Yeah.
and his alertness and stuff. But I mean, I know there's different protocols that you can use, but I just think it's good to know that, that somebody could potentially just use one patch, say like the glutathione on their
Yeah.
child, that has, autism or ADHD or something like that, and they could potentially get results. You could try some of
Maybe
the
I should
other
add another.
patches. Yeah, you could try some of the other patches and even the different protocols, and I can send
Yeah.
those to you so you can
Yes.
see
Yes, please.
if you notice anything else different. Let's see, next week we're going to have another person on, and her daughter is just ADHD, and she's been using the specific protocols. And again, it's going to be an amazing
Oh, I
story.
can't
They've
wait.
just had huge results. So, but yeah, I'll
Oh, I
send that to
cannot
you as
wait.
well.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
but
love
I
that.
am like just like over the moon for you. Like our kids, when you have that
Yeah.
mama's heart, our kids are number one to us, and
Yeah.
anything that we can do to figure out
Mhm.
how to help them and make a difference in their lives, I am sure over the years you have just done everything you can possibly think of to try to
Yeah.
detox him and help him out. And so to have something that you're utilizing so quickly to have
Yeah.
results is, I mean, it's just so thankful. Um, so yes, Liana is asking a question. So we'll
Okay.
ask. So Liana's asking, what patches, Erin, did you use for your results?
X39, predominantly. Now I use them all. I play around with all of them, but X39 and Eon are the main ones that I've been using.
Okay, awesome. And then
But
when you were
for the face thing, that was all X39 at the time.
Okay. So you were just using X39 with your face,
Yeah.
multiple patches. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
It was,
that's surprising. No Eon. You weren't using any
I
Eon.
didn't have any. What I ordered pretty much all X39. I think I had a couple more. And I mean, I can't. Well, you know what? I take that back. I think I did have some Ice Wave that Lori had given me. I think I
Okay.
did. Maybe, yeah. But
And
but
then
on the regular, I was using X39. Yeah.
And so for your back, that was just X39. Obviously, Lori gave you
Lori
some ice wave.
on, so she put on the ice wave, and she used the Eon and Ice Wave, I believe. And I think she put an X39 on, but I used X39 to maintain. And this last time my back went out, I did X39.
Just X39. Wow. That's amazing because I
Okay.
have back issues too, like you. And you know, I'm a crazy person. I want all the benefits from all the patches. So I'm
Well,
using all of them. But
I always give out my Ice Wave. I feel like I'm always running into somebody in pain, and so I'm always giving out my Ice Wave and Eons. And so when the very few times my back will go out, I'm like, oh crap, I don't have any. I should call you. Yeah, I know, but yeah, no, I have.
yes.
I might have used an Ice Wave this last time, but X39 is the main one, unless
Well,
it's
that's
immediate.
great.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great that you can get that relief because I just standard on the standard, I'll wear 2 energy enhancer on my back, white on right, tan on left. And then
Mhm.
sometimes I'll rotate between X49 and carnosine down there on my back where it will go out. But
Uh-huh.
I'm wearing all the other patches somewhere on me.
Yeah.
But I've definitely had results like you with my back too. So it's just when
Nice.
you live the way you and I do with our
Yeah.
backs, it's an absolute
Yeah.
miracle. I mean, it's a
It's
game
I mean,
changer.
I can't ever be out of patches with my back. I
Right.
know I gotta have them on stock, because when it goes out, your whole world stops, you know?
That's right.
You know how
Yes.
that is. Yeah.
Yes, that's exactly right. So that's amazing. Yes. Um, yeah, and just for your sleep, I mean, just to have that to be
Uh-huh.
able to sleep right away, because that's when we heal and when we restore. So to have
Yeah.
that as well is just, and as a busy mom, running your own
Mhm.
business and running around with your kids, our sleep is so important.
It's so important, and I struggle with it I mean, I was always waking up and couldn't go back to sleep, and then the next day, but I mean, my whole world's changed because the sleep has changed, and so I feel like that's just attributing to every other positive thing that's changed in my life, so.
Right, that's awesome, and I wanted you to tell them the story of when, your son started he wanted to go out for football, and how that whole thing that you told
Yeah,
me a while back, I was just blown
yeah,
away. So will you tell them the
yeah.
football story also?
Yeah, well, I think what you're probably referring to is in the beginning, are you talking about his mental ability, like him getting out there on the field, or
Well,
just the
like, you
physical?
were so surprised that he wanted to go out for
Yeah,
football, and then you thought he would, like, quit, like, you'd go pick him
yeah,
up and he'd
yeah,
quit just in a few days.
yeah. So, he's never been in any sports ever. School in itself was hard enough to get him to. It was dropping off an hour long, getting him in the door. I mean, it's just that's been our world. He didn't speak at all full sentences till he was 7. He's very, just very. His emotions were always really high. So this was the first year he actually got accepted by the school. And he decided, and this is right about when I started introducing the patches, but he was like, Mom, I think I want to try out for football. And I can't tell him no, because yes, of course I couldn't believe that he wanted to, but I went ahead and warned the coaches and, everyone, he's probably not going to make it past one practice once he sees what it's really like. I mean, there's absolutely no way. I was, especially putting a helmet on. I mean, he can't, he won't wear a hat. I mean, he doesn't like anything touching his head. I just knew there was no way, but I didn't want to say no to him. So football camp came around. And of course, the school was so open and inviting, and yes, and they were so supportive. But he went in and had a little bit of trouble getting the helmet on, and kind of accepting it, but he got through it. Went through the whole practice sweating. I mean, they didn't let him, like, he had to run with everybody else. It was like 100-degree heat. I mean, he was on fire. When he were done, he was like, Mom, that was so great. He's like, I don't want to quit. Then practice 2 came, 3. I mean, he never, not one time did he not only not quit, not give up. He looked forward to practices. Every single game, stood at the sidelines watching the game. Never ran off, never looked in the crowd, like never threw his helmet. Like, this is the first year ever that no one ever knew that he was autistic. There wasn't any issues. He didn't have any breakdowns. I mean, he went through the whole football season. Then when football's over, he wanted to start basketball. Now he's playing basketball. I mean, I just wanted to get him in school, a real school. So the fact that he's not only in school, A's and B's, but he's playing on the football team, on the basketball team. I told him the other day, I said, do you realize you have all A's and B's? You've been to every practice, football and basketball, every game. You've not one time asked to quit. You not one time complained. Do you realize that? And he was like, yeah. he's just like, that's me. I'm like thinking like, oh, he's a completely different child. And
Yes.
it's just, you know,
Yeah.
it's, I look back and I would have never thought in a million years that we would be here.
Right.
So
And
yeah,
how old is he now?
he'll be 12 next month.
Okay, he'll be 12 next month. I
Yeah.
mean, just the and it's just it blows me away because I with the glutathione, it affects every cell in your body. It detoxes every cell in your body and then protects every cell in your body. And so we need glutathione in our bodies in order to just for them to work right. So to know that the glutathione would even affect his cognitive ability in that way,
Yeah.
because the cognition that it has to take for him to be able to just get through a practice, to listen to
Right.
instructions, for him to
Right.
stand on the football field and focus on the game, like what you're
Yeah.
talking about, the
Yeah.
cognitive ability for him to do those things
Yep.
is just that's a miracle, Erin. I mean, I just
That
am so
that in
thankful for
itself,
you.
that's what got me. The physical part was a shock. Yeah, he's making through practice, you know. But the fact that when his coach is talking to him, he's looking him in the eyes. He's close to him. He's letting the coach hold him on the shoulders and, you know, you could do this, you can do this, and change this and change that. Okay, coach. And he turns around and walks out like, and then he turns around and what I've noticed in basketball too is he's able to go down, you know, and then suddenly we steal the ball and head the other way, and he's already running like he's getting it all. He's picking it up. This is, I mean,
Yes.
the doctor said he'd never be able to hold onto a bar, you know, because his wrist, he couldn't, the concept of squeezing something, he couldn't button his button on his shirt. I mean, like, I don't, there's so much potential of healing with things like this, like autism. We just have to learn the tools and apply the tools, but there's healing, you know, and
Yes. Yes, it's just I am so thankful and
yeah.
so thankful to the Lord to have brought Lori into your life and
Oh,
for you to get to
100%.
know about these
Yes.
patches and just the hope that your story is going to give so many people
Yeah.
who live a life just like you with their kids,
Mhm.
because like I said, our kids are everything.
Yes.
And for just the fact that we are able to have a technology that we can apply to our bodies,
Mhm.
that then will cause them to work the way that God has designed, even when we have these major injuries, that they're like you're talking about,
Yep.
that there is healing.
Yeah.
So that is just
Our bodies are designed to heal itself. Our bodies are designed. We just need, you know, the proper aid to get our bodies there because we're filled full of toxins and full of everything else that is all around us. And it's like, I feel like these patches kind of accelerate our body's ability to heal, to function how it should, you know? And
right.
I know
Yeah.
that what in the beginning, my thing is I was like, well, I know it's 100% safe. What's the harm? I'm just going to start putting them on him and hopefully I'll see something, you know?
Right.
Sure enough.
Yeah. It looks like Irene may have a question for one of us. Irene, go ahead.
Yes, hello. This is my first time, but I have a grandchild that has is autistic, and I'm interested to find out where you put the patches and if you used anything else besides the glutathione. My grandson barely speaks a little bit. He's starting to, but he still has a long ways to go. He's young. He's 8 years old. But I'm very, very interested
I'm
if you could
so,
tell me.
yes. I'm so excited that you are, you know, watching out for him because it's not too late. He's 8, and that's when our whole world's changed. Um, but yes, the glutathione has personally, I have used like X39 on occasion, but glutathione is all I've used. But it sounds to me like there are better protocols, and I'm going to let Nikki answer that because I'm going to probably try those as well because I got this much help from the glutathione. So I can imagine. Nikki, what do you think?
Yeah. So Irene, I would just say to get back to the person who invited you to the call, and they can either get the protocols for me, or they can get you connected to Ed or Vicky or myself, and we can get you those protocols so you have some options. And if the person who's introduced you to the patches doesn't know, there's definitely people here who we do have some of that information. So if you'll just reach back out to them,
I
we'll get
physically,
you.
I think I forgot to tell you too. I physically put the patch just on the back where he couldn't reach. So, because I didn't want him picking it
Mhm.
off. So that's kind of a good place, is the back of the neck, low enough to where he can't reach it and where, it's not visible for other kids to see.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Okay. Thank you very much.
Good
Yes,
luck.
and I
Yes,
will. Thank you very much.
I'm
Yes,
excited.
Yeah, I'm very happy
absolutely.
for you, and I'm excited for my
Thank you.
grandson. So
Thank you.
Absolutely.
thank you very
Keep
Yes.
me
much.
posted.
Yes, absolutely. Well, we just have a few minutes left, but I want to just tell you real quickly about the X39 patch. This is what the patches look like, so you can kind of see that if you don't know. But basically, the X39 activates a peptide in our body called GHKCU. So it's GHK copper peptide. And that peptide, if you go to PubMed, which is a medical industry standard of where they do any type of research when they're researching something, if you go in there and you put in GHK-CU, you're going to get all of these great articles, medical articles about what GHKCU does in our bodies. It affects 5 different areas that then affect all kinds of different things in our bodies. It affects our collagen levels. And most people think about collagen for skin and hair, but it actually is something that you need for muscles, all kinds of things in your body, your organs. Collagen affects those kinds of things. For the immune system is another one that affects, which obviously for anything in our health, for us to operate and do things right, there's all different parts and pieces of our immune system to work that it influences. Stem cell production. So it actually tells, as we age, our stem cells go dormant. So by the time we're 30, we only have about half of our stem cells active. And by the time we're 60, we only have about 10% of our stem cells that are active. So this in particular peptide goes and tells those stem cells to get up and get going, and let's get moving. So it resets 4,000 of our genes when we start to wear this, and also it gets a third of our stem cells up and going. And the longer you wear the X39, it will start to have a compounding effect, which is why Erin and I experienced in our back pain, to where we would go for being out. I would be out for a month. Erin was saying days. I would be out for a month every time, to where now it's 24 hours. For me personally, I actually feel it trying to go out and it can't. So it's reset me to like when I was back in high school playing sports. So those, let's see, that's 3: collagen, stem cells, immune system, wound healing. It also affects wound healing, so it remodels scar tissue. And oh gosh, and now I'm drawing a blank on the 5th one. There's a 5th one. Ed or Vicky, do you remember? There's 5
I was
different.
like, you have a good memory.
Yes, well, I was doing good.
Yeah, there's a lot of potential. I mean, the list goes on and on, but
Mhm.
Erin, I just want to tell you to thank you so much for this wonderful testimony. When we hear things like this in the modern day, we consider them miracles. And I'm a pastor, and I know that God is doing great things with this technology to help people. It is people like you, with when you come out to do a testimony like this, that we can then record and send out to millions of people all around the world, that will go a far longer than if you just kept it for yourself. But thank you so much for sharing
Of
that with
course.
us. And you the picture with the video that you
Yeah.
showed us, we were
Insane.
all like
It's
amazing. So
insane.
wow. Thank you so
Yes.
much. We
Yes, of
appreciate you.
course. Of course. Thank you.
Yes,
And let
and
us know.
also,
We have a lot of protocols for autism. We can send them
Yes,
to you.
I need
And
to.
I'll send them to Nikki so she can send them to
I'm
you.
sure she sent them. I'm just know what I've been doing is working. So if something else can work better, I need to go back on my notes and get that.
Yeah,
yes,
absolutely. Eon is a great because it balances your autonomic system. So I know Eon, carnosine, X39, glutathione are all the four patches that we use for autism and
Okay.
other mental things. So
I've got all those. Okay.
great.
Yes,
Thank you.
awesome. Yes, and also just so you know that when you wear the patches, they're 12 hours on and 12 hours off. So they're completely non-transdermal. Nothing is entering the body. It is based on the infrared light that we emit. So if you were to look at someone or people through night vision goggles, it's that night vision where you see that heat and that light coming off of people. So this reflects back from the patch. We reflect our own light back into us that signals the specific different peptides based on whichever patches we're talking about. Will signal those peptides to get up and get going. So that is basically how the X39 works. And I just want to thank you all again so much for being on the call tonight. Irene, I'm so glad you were on the call to hear Erin's story. Everyone, please get back with the person who invited you to the call. We'll be happy to get you whatever information you need. And we just thank you so much for joining us. And we pray blessing over each one of you. And thanks for being on the call tonight. And we'll get to talk to you again soon. Have a good night, everyone.
Thank you. Terrific. It was really, really great.